just be like my way, like the way I see the world, or how my opinion is like, there's other way, like just to be flexible, right? Like just to be aware of my own shortcomings, to be I think I became more of put myself, not being in a knowing standpoint, into like getting into that beginner's mind, what they call it, Zen mind, beginner's mind. So taking myself more to a humble standpoint, taking things as they are, not how I think they should be. Yeah, I mean, at least off the top of the head.
Reality.
Right, not how it's like, oh,
reality.
Well, I deserve this. Right.
Huge. And in this day and age, we are, I guess it's always been the same. It's not just this day and age, but we spend a lot of energy trying to avoid pain, and reality is very painful. And so we remove ourselves from reality. And what that does is set up this feedback loop of experiencing more pain. Right. You know, you could call it neurosis even. You make the same mistakes over and over again, even though they hurt you. You see that in the market too, right? You see people do that all the time. I know, it's so hard. That is the definite, you know, that's Mauer's definition of neurosis, is making the same mistake repeatedly, even though you're getting negative results. So it's really hard. So embracing reality is incredibly difficult. You have to embrace so many difficult things. You have to embrace your limitations. You have to embrace death. You have to embrace the imperfections of those around you that you want to be perfect. So I agree with you. I 100% agree that is a huge component. It is sort of, it's a reality basis. One of the translators of the Tao, the science fiction author Le Guin, mm-hmm. She made a comment about that. She made a comment about the Tao, about the anarchists embracing the similar tenets, and about it really being all about just reality. So even though it seems like it's very mysterious and obtuse, or not obtuse, but cryptic.
Yeah.
It's really very much rooted in reality, which is a incredible sort of dialectic, incredible combination.
For sure. And I think that's just like the search of what I like, what is it? Like, what is this we're living? Like that's been my search. And I think another thing, Dr. Tu, I thought of, which on a personal level, what's helped me, I think as a parent to my son, and like what really stuck out to me in that book when he was talking about the best way to, and I think he was either talking as a parent, or I think like to society as a whole, like the best way for a ruler to have them rebel is to give a lot of rules, right? It's like what you say, like the things you give off will give off the opposite reaction at times. Whereas if you give people space, they'll act more accordingly, or they won't rebel. I'm paraphrasing, but that was the essence of it.
No, you're dead on about that.
Yeah.
The ruler who is has the hard hand and makes a lot of rules, there'll be a lot of rules broken. And there's a difference between that and not being present. So if you're present, but if you're present with a frame that is non-authoritarian, and that is true. There's so much research actually that supports that, not only in parenting, but it's very strong there, but also in organizational psychology. So in large organizations, in corporate situations, that those who are leaders, the ones who are non-authoritarian, drive better results and greater respect over time. There's no question about it.
Yeah. Awesome. I love it. No, good stuff.
So I got a great theory about parenting.
Yes. Go
there if you want to go there.
Yeah, let's go. I love it. Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So there was this guy, Stephen Mitchell, who was, and this is really the way I try to think of everything. First off, there's this one idea. This is an idea that comes from this guy, Winnicott, where all you really have to be is good enough. Like, you don't have to be a perfect parent. And as a matter of fact, going back to the judgment, not being non-judgmental, he's basically giving you permission to not be perfect. Like, that's kind of his thing.
Mhm.
He was saying, all you have to do is be good enough. You're going to mess up. You're going to do stupid things. You're going to be a dick when you should have been cool, and you're going to be cool when you should have been a dick, and you're going to get, you're going to do it. But as long as you're good enough, as long as you get it right enough, whatever that percentage is, you're fine. The kid's going to be all right. So you don't have to be you don't have to say the right thing all the time. You don't have to do the right thing all the time. You just got to be good enough. You got to be present, and you got to get it right. That's one. Then the next thing, and this is Stephen Mitchell. This guy was such a genius, right? He talked about there being two ends of a spectrum. The one is when you tell the kid what they have to do, when you're setting limits, right? Sometimes you have to set limits.
Mhm.
If there's your 4-year-old is playing with matches or playing with a stove, you got to take the matches away. You have to set that limit. If they're running out into the ocean and they're 3, you have to go and grab them and say, no, you can't run into the ocean. There's moments like that. And then on the other side of the same spectrum, at the other end, there is permissiveness and expansion. Let the kid do. Let the kid play. If that same kid, that same 4-year-old is sitting there making a mess with himself in the sand, sitting up on the beach a little bit, getting it in his pants, putting it in his hair, all over the place, there you let him go. And so really the parenting is just both of those, and getting those right more times than not, good enough.
Right.
Where you let them go when you should let them go, and you tighten them up when you set limits when you should set limits.